was about from what I understand, I was 3 months old when I was diagnosed. And the life expectancy was not good, so my parents thought I was going to die soon. So my parents contacted the CF Foundation to try to find the best doctor in the country. And they found this Dr. Kramer who lives in Dallas. I guess he started out the conversation with my parents saying he's going to die by the age of 10 unless you do something about it. His idea was, although it wasn't recognized at the time, his idea was to make him run, make him exercise. So from then on, I would run from the age of 4, at least 5 miles a day, and that kept me out of the hospital until I was maybe 17 or 18, I'd say. I got a new doctor at one point, and he looked at my lung function. It was about 25%. He said, you need a lung transplant. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I don't need a lung transplant. I'm going to be fine. So we fought we disagreed for about 5 years. It came one point, I was at 17% lung function. We'd always discussed at one point I was going to become too sick to fly. If that became the case, I would be in trouble because Hawaii didn't do transplants. And that would be it for me. I couldn't go anywhere, I'd be stuck. And he told me, if you don't leave by this weekend, there's nothing more I can do with you. And at one point I just said, okay, fine, I'll go. I mean, yeah, outwardly, but inwardly I'm thinking, okay, just forget it, just get it done. I still didn't think I needed it. But obviously I respected him, okay, fine. And even on the operating table, when they're about to put me under, I was thinking, oh, this is so stupid. They're gonna wake me up and they're gonna tell me you have to go home because something went wrong. But when I got the transplant, I was amazed. I was amazed that I wasn't coughing. I mean, throughout my life, like with all CF patients, we're coughing constantly. And when I woke up, and even to now, I don't cough. If I cough now, that means there's something wrong, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? When in the past, if coughing was a way of life, and I did like everyone's CF, I did treatments twice a day, every day. And I found after the transplant, I no longer cough. I don't do treatments. It's really like a whole new life. I was fortunate to meet my donor family. It's kind of a story to it. I really wanted to find out, I think as most transplant patients, we want to know who gave us our second life. You have to wait about a year until you can find out, until you're able to write a letter to the donor family, introducing yourself and expressing your thanks and that sort. So I waited until a year, I got the address of the family, so I wrote a letter. You're always kind of worried about the emotions on the other side of the letter you're going to write, because they just lost their child, or their husband or wife or whoever. And you don't know how they're feeling. Are they upset because now I'm living my second life and their loved one is no longer there? So it must have been in, say, September that I wrote the letter. And they got back to me in October. I found out the name of my donor, so I wanted to find out everything about her. And I knew from the research I'd done that she had a Facebook account. And on her Facebook, she mentioned she worked at Target. So drove there and I was sitting in the parking lot thinking, okay, if this is the Target where she worked, she walked up these stairs, she went in that door. I just kind of tried to relive the whole thing. Facebook said she worked there about 5 years ago. What are the chances that someone is working there now who worked there 5 years ago and knew her? I thought, probably no chance. But I kept thinking, what if? So I thought, what the heck? So I went inside the store and this lady was setting up a Christmas display. And I just got this feeling, ask her. So excuse me, I said, this may be kind of a weird question, but is Joni Marie working today? She stared at me for maybe 5-10, felt like 5 minutes, but probably 5 or 10 seconds. And she said, Joni's been dead for 2 years. I asked her, can you tell me a little bit about Joni Marie? She said, oh yeah, she had 2 kids and this and that. And Joni Marie was one of my best friends. I couldn't believe it. I found her best friend. So that was my experience with that. And I think about a week later, I drove up to see the parents. Just great people. They invited me to their place. We had dinner. Just good Midwestern people. So after the transplant, I thought, this is my second life. I want to get back. I want to start getting out there, because in the past, I would travel, but I always had to keep in mind, if I was traveling, I needed to do treatments twice a day. I needed to take a vest machine with me. I needed to take medications with me. I still did it, but it was a hassle. So now that I had new lungs, I no longer needed treatments or any of that. I'm on Facebook a lot, and through Facebook you have friends, but you don't really know them because you're just messaging them and reacting to them. I thought, why don't I actually try to meet these people I'm friends with? So I started with this one girl. Her name was Amber Goff. She's since passed, but I kind of knew after following her for years that she wasn't doing very well. I thought I want to go visit her. She lives in Indiana. So I thought that was just going to be one-time thing. I drove from Dallas to Indiana just to have lunch with her. I thought that was cool. Maybe we can do it again. So driving back from Indiana to Dallas, I thought, what the heck, as long as I'm on the way, I knew of this girl who I met online on Facebook who lived in St. Louis, and I was driving right past St. Louis. So I messaged her, I said, hey, I'm in your area, you want to grab lunch? Just out of the blue, she said, oh yeah, sure. So I went to St. Louis, had nice lunch with her, and I thought after that lunch, why don't I try to have lunch with someone else? So I picked just a few random friends on Facebook in this whatever area. That's what started it. So that was in 2019. That year I drove 26,000 miles all year. I mean, it was great. I met 30 CF patients and their family. So it was just a good time. So the inspiration for this foundation, CF Vest for Life Foundation, it really started in January of this year in 2020. Some girl from Chile Facebook messaged me. I didn't know who she was. Somebody completely unknown messaged me, do you have a vest that you could donate or sell me? So I thought for maybe like 5 minutes, I thought, oh no wait, I had the transplant, I don't use my vest anymore, the vest is sitting right here. So I got back to her, I said, yeah, I have a vest to donate you. Maybe in 2 weeks, some other random unknown person, this one from Lebanon, contacted me. He asked me if I had CF. I told him I do. He said, I'm trying to find the vest. Will you help me? And I thought, no, this is weird. I thought, after that, I thought, in 1 month, in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks, 2 people out of the blue asked me for a vest. I thought maybe there's something to this. So I let it roll around my mind a bit until it was about June of this year. I ran to somebody, Mark, on this CF virtual conference we're working on. I shared my story with him. I told him my idea. And he said, you might have something there. So wound up with him, we started the CF Vest for Life Foundation. In 2020, we've donated vests to 16 people with CF in 12 countries, as close as Chile to New Zealand. It's been a great experience. I'd say maybe in 5 to 10 years, my goal would be to be able to help people with CF on each continent. We're almost there now with those we've helped, and so it's doable. And I think in 5 to 10 years, if we can start shipping vests out maybe once a week, we would be touching so many people with CF. That would really be rewarding for me. I think there's a bright future for CF. I think with the introduction of medication that's come out and that we know will be coming out in the future. I know people who are on this one medication. They don't even have to do treatments anymore. It's worked so well. If this is happening now, give it 5 years, and who knows what they'll have. Maybe there'll be a cure. At one point there'll be a cure. Until then, we're on a good path right now. Sometimes I'll talk to people who are, CF is a tough disease to live through, and they'll be discouraged or disappointed, frustrated. I just remind them that if you have CF, you can do anything. I mean, we all were born being told that we wouldn't live past the age of 10. I said, look where you are, look at what you've accomplished. I told them, we were the strongest people alive, we can do anything. You've gotten this far, you can go farther.